Hello everyone, this is Linda at Icky Chic Designs, and I'm really thrilled to be able to bring you this walkthrough guide for the new little Four Seasons Cottage slow stitch kit that I have recently uploaded in my Etsy shop. I had a tremendous amount of fun making this. It lends itself to great creativity. Just using your imagination, putting the elements where you want them to go. Now, I positioned my house so that my main elements would be on the left, in the front, and a little bit up the side. Okay, so you can also, when I put these kits into my Etsy shop, they will come with a basic background, house, roof, and cloud. All of these elements will not be exactly the same. You notice the cloud is different, the fabric on the roof is a little different, the house is the same linen, but it will come, you can choose the kit you want by the background you want to start with. I have already machine sewn these elements to this background with a wave stitch. And you can see that it does not show. And so you can work comfortably with these being very secure and then adding all your own artistic elements, excuse me for jiggling you, your elements to that. I've also outlined the fabric here with the wave stitch. This is to keep it from totally raveling out on you because this is a very loose weave fabric, and it's heavy weight, but it does ravel easily. Now, I like rough edges and raveled and fringed edges, as you know. And if I frame this piece, I will definitely leave all that raggedy stuff on the edges because I like it. But this is a 12 by 12, so therefore you could make, I believe, let me check that, I believe that's, maybe it's 10 by 10. Let me retract that, it's a 10 by 10. So you could make it into a pillow face, just a work of art, or just whatever you wanted to do with it. But it is big enough that gives you a little bit of a choice of what you might want to do with it. They make adorable small pillows. So you have room to go ahead and sew those on the edges there. I call this the Four Seasons kit because all four seasons are depicted in this cottage scene. On the left side, I chose to stay pretty much in my summer fall colors. Okay, we still have some greenery in the tree, but leaves are turning colors, and that's just nothing but little bits of fabric and little bits of yarn sewn on domestic cutouts for the background to be able to show the color more, and then of course some embroidery stitches around them. You can cut out whatever shape for the tree you want, or you don't have to have a tree. If you don't want a tree, don't put it in there. But I like the idea of it, and it does help to facilitate the theme for the Four Seasons. I tried to use some of the colors of fall still in the grassy areas, some of the eyelash fringe to show, so how our grasses turn brown and start dying off in the fall. But we always usually have something that's hanging on that's still blooming, and so that's represented here. Then we have some little flower bed that runs along the walkway, maybe in mums or colors of fall there too. We move over and we have a green, still green lawn, which is summerish, and we come up with the fully blooming trellis over here with the spring and summer colors We still have flowers blooming against the wall, the little flower boxes on the windows. As we come down, we have the snow that's fallen around our flower beds here in the front. So it depicts the four seasons that run into each other and interwave. It was really fun to work with this because it gave you a lot of leeway to use different colors, different fabrics, different combinations to really mix it up. And so I really like that. I left the cottage fairly plain because everything else is so busy. I love this old woven fabric. This is a vintage fabric. It's almost like a denim, and it's heavyweight enough that it was so easy to work on. Yet, you know, you could get a needle through everything just fine. And these pieces here are heavier upholstery fabric, so they really have the texture that looks like a roofing and a door element. Now your kits will come with an assortment of items that will match the theme and tone. Some things will be basic. For instance, basic here is your cottage, your roof, and your cloud, even though the cloud is of different lace. You will get elements that may not be exactly the same as these, but will still do the same thing. They will give you all the four-season colors and tones, the fabrics, the patterns, the yarns, the threads, everything that you need to do this with. If you notice down here, I've worked this with thread and ribbon. So there'll be a little of the ribbon in there too, if you like to do the little bit of ribbon flowers in your embroidery. A lot of this is yarn with some little decorative elements. This is some lacy, kind of like this cream color here. This is more in a brown gold, and so it lends itself well to a trellis effect and goes up there. Now, how you position your elements, which elements you want to use, you'll have more elements in your package than you probably will want to use, but that gives you some choices. But you will definitely have enough to get the four seasons look that you'll be looking for or working with. And of course, if you decide just to put 2 seasons in there, that's fine too. But there will be enough for the 4 seasons. And it is just really wonderful. Now, when you start with something basic like this, it really gets you grounded and going quickly. The positioning is already there for you. You don't have to figure out how I'm going to get this so that I have enough room for everything. It's going to be there for you. Remember that when you go into the Etsy shop and go to this kit, look through all the background choices that will be in there. There will probably be at least 6 at any one time, and the elements that go with that. I will be from time to time changing the background, the entire look of the cloud, the color of the cottage. From time to time, I will throw different things in there because not everybody's the same. This is kind of has a homespun look to it. It's very kind of country, farmhousey, and not everybody likes that. So I will be throwing different ready-made backgrounds to go in there too. But I'm going to start with these to begin with because I do have quite a bit of this. And so this will probably be the first ones in there with just different elements here. Be sure to order the kit by the background. Choose the background that you want to work with. Everything else that you need will be in the kit. Again, you may not get exactly the same trim, but you will get trim that will make a beautiful flower bed. You will get threads that go with whatever elements that I give you, you will get everything that looks like the 4 seasons. So you can work with that. You will have to cut your own windows, your chimney, your door, your tree parts, your walkway if you choose to have a walkway. Like I said, you don't have to make yours exactly like mine. Always remember that. This is a prototype. That means that you can tweak, change, adapt, alter, do anything you want to with your end, but you'll have everything you need. And if you want to try to follow, then you can do that too. So nothing in here is hard. I did use quilting thread in areas that I needed. For instance, like I said, tacking down a lot of this eyelash trim, securing smaller areas tightly before I did the embroidery thread. So I don't put quilting thread in the kit. I suggest that if you're going to do much of slow stitching, that you get you a spool of just quilting thread. That's hand quilting is what it says. And I use this tan or taupe color, as you can see here. And it works perfectly. You won't see it anywhere. It just blends into whatever you're doing. And if you want to secure something first before you go back and do your beautiful embroidery work, that's a good way to do that. The different embroidery threads will be in your kit, of course. It gives you a lot of options to what to use where. I do embroidery, but I don't do everything in embroidery because, well, I just don't like everything in embroidery. For one thing, I want it to be an enhancement, embellishment, not an entire embroidery project. Okay, the yarns and the chenille that make up the snow, those of course will be in there. So if you choose to make a winter area, you've got that in there. I debated on putting a snowman here. That was an option, or putting my flower beds in. And I thought, well, I think I'll just use my flower beds like the first snow of the year. You know how it catches your flower beds and your mums and everything are blooming beautifully. And next thing you know, everything's covered up with snow. But that was why I chose to use that there. So it's just a personal choice off and on as you work with it. Change up anything you want, absolutely anything that you want. I didn't choose to make this side really busy past the arbor here because, trellis, because I wanted that to be a focal point. I just left the house side of this raw like it was, except for where it's covered over with elements. It's nothing hard. I've used straight stitch with the embroidery. I have used stem stitch. I've used a petal stitch. And that's about all that I have used in the decorative stitches. Oh, excuse me, French knots. I've used French knots. And you know, just, and the little ribbon here is not made into flowers. It's just looped and tacked down with quilting thread. It's just looped, and that itself looks, when you just kind of loop it and tack it, loop it and tack it, it kind of looks like flowers, but it's not really. You don't have to go to all that labor trying to make tiny little ribbon flowers. Just put some little loops in there and some French knots in between, and you've got it made. Okay. Add some green embroidery in there, thread, and it'll come to life for you. The green here, I thought did very well with the summer lawn that's still green, but kind of going yellow in areas. So you use your imagination and put the things where you want them. as how you see them, because all of us don't even live in the same agricultural zones of the country. So some areas only have like 2 seasons. Where I live in Northeast Texas, we have all 4 seasons. And and each one is 6 to 12 weeks long, basically, so it's long enough for us to really enjoy it. So we get all the different color changes. So if your area is different and you want to make it more like your area, we'll definitely adapt it for that. Okay, I think that's all you really need to know. Like I said, it's very simple. It's just cut and place your elements, secure them maybe with quilting thread, then come back with your embroidery thread, floss, and do your lovely embroidery stitches. Add your decorative elements, add your yarns and different things as you want them. Make everything the way you want it. Right now, the first few kits, everything will be oriented this way. Then I will switch orientation and I will put the cottage on the left and leave some room over here because, like I said, we're all different somehow or another. I lend myself to houses on the right. Some people lend themselves to houses on the left. It's kind of crazy how we're all different like that, but we are. And so have fun if you decide to get this kit. Have fun with it. And definitely use this video if you have any questions. Bookmark it, come back to it. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments because I'd be happy to answer them for you. All right. Okay, till next time then. This is Linda at Icky Chic Designs.